Many see the slogan Black Lives Matter, or BLM, as a noble plea for equal treatment under the law. It's a cry to secure the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for everyone. But what does the Black Lives Matter organization actually stand for? To find out, look no further than their leaders, Alicia Garza, Opal Tometi, and Patrisse Cullors. Here's Cullors in a revealing 2015 interview.
We actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists.
Visit the Black Lives Matter website and read the list of demands to get a sense of how deep a transformation they seek. One of those demands proclaims, quote, "We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement by supporting each other as extended families and villages that collectively care for one another. We can't be certain, but it's hard to believe this radical agenda is what most signed up for when they made that hashtag Black Lives Matter social media post, or that every employee, customer, or shareholder at Nike endorses a disruption of the family." Garza first coined the phrase in 2013, the day George Zimmerman was acquitted of murdering Trayvon Martin. Her friend Cullors added the hashtag and joined the words so it could travel through social media. Tometi created the digital platform blacklivesmatter.com. According to Robert Stilson of the Capital Research Center, the group became a self-styled global network in 2014 and a fiscally sponsored project of a separate progressive nonprofit in 2016. This evolution has helped embolden an agenda vastly more ambitious than a national defunding of police. The goals of the Black Lives Matter organization go far beyond what most people think. They're hiding in plain sight, there for the world to see. If only we read beyond the slogans and the summaries of the movement they helped to create. It's a distinction with a profound difference. Their radical Marxist agenda is bent on supplanting the basic building blocks of society, the family, replacing it with the state, and destroying the economic system that has lifted more people from poverty than any other. Theirs is a blueprint for misery, not justice. It must be rejected.
We're running out of time. This is Covert Radio. It's Friday, July the 10th, 2020. We're running out of time. And I can't accept the fact anymore that people are just so docile and so uninformed and so locked into this bread and circus where you would rather sit and watch, I don't even know the names of these shows, Love and Hip Hop and, 40-year-old disfigured monsters on Jersey Shore who are completely disfigured and they literally look like they're demons. I mean, for real. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to get into this. And I don't like to take this tone, but we're literally running out of time. Things are changing so fast that you can't keep up with it day to day to day. And, this whole COVID thing and the lockdown, which is coming back, if you've listened to any of my videos regarding this, and I hate to say this, guys, but everything I said is happening. This is exactly what I said was going to happen. I said, come, July, August, it's back. We got to lock back down. Boom, September, lock back down. They are not going to give up this amount of control. We are never going back to how you thought the world was a year ago, 8 months ago. This is a takeover. They're moving very quickly, and this is shock and awe. They're traumatizing people every day, every day. We're in a bizarre trend of like, what's next? What's next? What's next? We're going back to normal. Nothing's going back to normal. Hey, we're opening back up. Shut it all back down every other day. They started doing this many years ago, and the way they started molding people's minds around this was the weather. You know, I remember when I was young, you could watch the 5-10 day forecast, and it was pretty accurate. And I'm telling you, if you pay attention to the weather, they might know a day, maybe two at the most, but I'd say once or a few times a month. It'll be tomorrow sunny with with clouds. You wake up and it's gray and dark and it rains all day. But didn't they just say it was going to be sunny? No, maybe I didn't. This is a form of mind control. Just like the BLM, they're using tribalism against people, and they're using a complete lie as the basis for doing what they're doing. These people are professionals. They know what they're doing. They know where their money's coming from. And there is a revolution. And I said this, and again, another one of my videos, there is a revolution, but it's not what you think it is. And it's a revolution that is sponsored and endorsed by the people you claim you're fighting against, the power structure. Yet, America's most powerful corporations have poured millions and millions of dollars into the BLM. Where is this money going? Like, for what? And the funny thing about it is any real dissent is censored by the digital tyrants of Facebook and, the whole crew. Just like, I can't even get into this, man. The reason I'm recording is because of a bunch of emails. I thought it was so weird. I didn't get really any comments on that video that the one I just uploaded, but I got a lot of emails. I'm telling you right now, the time for fear is long gone. The time for this perceived, danger of speaking truth, you literally don't understand. We are coming so close to having nothing to lose. The BLM, it's controlled selective outrage. The BLM, conditions apply. Black Lives Matter. More black people have died as the result of honoring a guy. Just please don't get me started on this. I know the George Floyds of the world, okay? I know the George Floyds of the world. And I tried to explain this to somebody very close to me who's an angel. They have the spirit of an angel. And good family, good life, has kids, intelligent, hardworking, responsible. And I explained to her, I said, let me tell you, let's just try to explain this, because she did ask me, and I can't have people around me that's not honest. I want brutal honesty. Tell me about myself. She told me a while back that this, when I touch on this, it comes across as insensitive. Now, she knows where my heart and my mind is. And it is insensitive because I'm not tolerant of the George Floyds of the world. I know the George Floyds of the world. And when I explained this to her, I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you $500 in cash, in American fiat currency. I'm going to give you $500. Now, within a couple hours, I want you to bring me back $1,000 in counterfeit money that's passable. So give me $1,000 in counterfeit money. That should only cost you a couple hundred real dollars. Get me an 8-ball of fentanyl, and round that off with a teener of cocaine. How many hours? 2 hours? Is that an hour? Can you meet me in an hour? Most people in this country, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of people in this country would have no idea where to even start. They have no idea where to start. Where would I even begin to buy counterfeit money? Where would I even go to buy an 8-ball of fentanyl? Like, who's a cocaine dealer? Like, how do I get him to sell me this much? And on and on and on and on and on and on. In a $50,000 SUV, broad daylight, drunk, high on fentanyl, dropping thousands of dollars of dope on the street, passing counterfeit money, complaining that, fighting the cops because not physically fighting, but not following commands, that he's claustrophobic, but yet he just got out of a vehicle smaller than the SUV. Don't get me started. There are rules to this game. People like him know the rules. They know the rules. And I'll never stop saying this was personal. From the first minute I saw this, I said this was personal. And then it came out to be personal. But then you look deeper into it, as I covered in my last video, the Israeli training, the soldiers training American police as if they're military. Obama, for 8 years, flooding the American streets with military equipment, military vehicles. The Strong Cities Initiative, I'll never stop saying it, because melanin has nothing to do with the troops that are going to be coming door to door very soon. And while you're melting your brain with Love and Hip Hop and all these stupid shows that make no, it has no impact on your real life. And you're going to look back on the amount of time you wasted mesmerized by their black screens, their programming, their social etiquette. You're gonna hate yourself. There's a ex-KGB agent named Yuri Bezmenov. A few years ago, and I believe it was Sotomayor, but somebody sent me a long email, and they almost pleaded with me to stop communicating with my audience, basically. Now, I've had a much larger listener base. I've pissed a lot of people off. I don't care. One of my daily prayers is, Lord, please take the people out of my life that don't need to be there. Keep the ones in, or put the ones in that need to be here. And, we're about there. I know who my audience is. I know why they're here. But I was pleaded with, you're giving too much. They don't care. They don't understand. These people are here for drama. They're here for hate. They're here for beef. They're here for it all. Smoke is what they want. And the majority of the people that found Covert Radio enjoyed and lived vicariously through me when I would continuously, day to day to day, destroy Sotomayor with facts, logic, and morality. People enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. I still do. But I have a much greater understanding now, and I know who Tommy absolutely works for, and I know he's absolutely protected. And at this point, if we all don't wake up Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change. Not even the people who are able to control people like Sotomayor. But Yuri Bezmenov, who was a defective KGB agent, genius, but he's schooled in the methods of mind control. And he has a quote that he says, when you attempt to reason with demoralized people, okay, they are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. We are farmers. You cannot change their mind. Even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black, you still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, through the process of demoralization, it's completely irreversible. Mark Twain, I've said this quote hundreds of times in the last 4 years. It's easier to lie to people than to convince them they've been lied to. It's the same exact thing. And what's happened in America is our perception of reality has been so tightly controlled by a certain group of people that it does not matter. It's coming to the point right now, we're here. It does not matter of the amount of information, the amount of data, the black is black, white is white. It doesn't matter. Because when you're this demoralized, when you're this controlled, and your mouth is hanging open watching Love and Hip Hop, people are unable to come to a sensible conclusion. They don't even realize that they need to protect what their own interests are, what their own family's interests are, what's best for them, their children. They can't even come to a sensible conclusion about defending themselves, defending their family, their way of life, their schools, their community, and more importantly, their country. Again, the BLM is overthrowing the American culture, controlled by the same people who have long overthrown the American culture. They've demoralized us. They've given us demonic music. They've sexualized our children. They've promoted people who sexualize our children. This is everything they control. Look at the music industry alone. Look at hip hop. Hip hop alone. Eazy-E, NWA, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Snoop. I have a video coming up of Snoop, who just has the unbelievable balls to make an image saying the Coon Bunch or whatever he said. Coon Bunch? Hey, Calvin, I don't think you understand the meaning, buddy, because I'm going to show you what that word means, okay? Martha? Snoop Dogg wouldn't even be who he is if it wasn't somebody from the tribe. Jerry Heller controlled all of them. Death Row, Interscope. Who owns Interscope? Another one from the tribe, Jimmy Levine. All the distribution, all of the marketing, it's all owned by the same people. While the majority of these demonic clowns are broke, they owe their label hundreds of thousands of dollars because the second they get their first check, they got to get icy. They got to get these stupid clothes that look like your grandma made them with an old quilt, but you paid $2,000 for them. Who owns all of that? Adam Sandler just did a movie. It's a constant revolving door of shit kicking. The majority of these contracts are unbelievably bad for people in the music industry. You know, they could be like, oh, what about Master P? He had his own, you know, No Limit Records. But who was his distribution? Cash Money, Young Money Records. I know more about this than you know about, I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anybody. All of them have been infiltrated. The whole, everything. It's all been owned and controlled and overthrown by a very specific group of people. And if you notice, a lot of like these new demonic, tattooed face, demonic looking rappers, they don't live too long. Why do you think that is? Well, you squeeze somebody for everything they have in the first year to 2 years of their life, in their teens and 20s. You record 10 albums with them. You release one at a time or one every 6, 8, 10 months. You have 20 on the back burner, just like Tupac. You squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. You load them a quick amount of money, 30, 50 grand. You know, yeah, it's on the label. Oh, you a big rapper now. You a big rap star. You go spend 150,000 here. No. You go to my boy here. You go to my boy here. No, he'll take care of that ice for you. Oh, where the diamonds come from and the jewelry, straight from Israel. I live this life. I can't even begin to tell you how controlled it is. No. You go to my boy here. I'm going to give you, you go here. You'll get, you know, it doesn't matter. All the money's kept in the same group of people. And then you're in debt 100,000. You're broke. You're in a rented house. You have rented vehicles. And once you're not hot anymore, then you owe. And you owe, and you owe, and you owe, and you owe. And you're never going to get out of it. So guess what? You're worth more dead than alive. And if you think that doesn't happen, you're an idiot. Once a population is demoralized, people can't understand that they're being taken over. Okay, I did cover radio. I did hurry up, dude. Like, you know, you're already 22 minutes into this. I gotta watch porn yet. I only watch like 20 minutes. The day didn't even start. I'm way off track. I didn't even want to talk about any of this. Here's de Blasio in front of Trump Tower telling you how much Black Lives Matter all of a sudden. Right? New York City mayor helps paint Black Lives Matter mural in front of Trump Tower. There he is. Bing bong. Hey, no. Grab that brand new. There's more money in paint and rollers and sticks than I guarantee you 3/4 of the people painting this have seen in the last 4 months. Do you understand what I just said? The people who have been suckered into this have made less money in the last 3 or 4 months than what all that paint, the rollers, and those sticks have cost, the poles. Like, please wake up, man. Please. I'm going to blow through this in a couple minutes. And I got to read this one more time. Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I've said this 100 times. How we burned in the camps later. He's talking about the Gulag, the Russian concentration camps. How we burned in the camps later. Thinking, what if things would have been like if every security operative, every contact tracer, okay, let's bring this up to today so you understand really where we're at. What if things have been like if every security operative, contact tracer, when he went out at night to make an arrest, they would have been uncertain whether they would return alive and had to say goodbye to their family. instead of coming to your house and saying, oh, your daughter was in a school or whatever, and somehow they met this little girl over here and da-da-da-da-da. So no, she's level red. We have to take her. Remember I showed you guys how the contact tracing app is going to work? If you're level red, you are removed to a safe quarantine area. And the hospitals are just so dang filled up again, empty. Everybody that's had a camera that went to investigate this found empty hospitals. But this time they're going to be full. So yes, your daughter will be taken to South Carolina at a Walmart and this, okay, that's been converted into a triage area. People have no idea what's coming, man. You think this evil doesn't exist. You're wrong. Shut the TV off, please, this weekend. Read, investigate, look into everything I've said. Share covert radio with other people. Take my video, cut it up. This, a 3-minute video. This, a 3-minute video. Or if during periods of mass arrest, as for example in Leningrad, when they arrested a quarter of the entire city, people had not simply sat there in their apartments, in their lairs, in their apartments, in their houses, paling with terror at every bang of the downstairs door and at every step on the staircase. People were just, oh my God, they're coming. I hear the vehicles. I hear the soldiers. I hear the boots. Our building's next. Shaking in terror, frozen in terror. At every sound they heard at the downstairs door, every step on the staircase. But if those people would have understood that they had nothing left to lose, and they boldly set up an ambush down in the downstairs hall. If they set up an ambush of a half a dozen people, 6, 7 people with anything, axes, hammers, pokers, we have weapons in this country still. But whatever they had in hand, whatever they had, the organs would very quickly have suffered a shortage of officers and transport, and notwithstanding all of Stalin's thirst, the cursed machine would have ground to a halt if we didn't love freedom enough. People do not love their freedom enough right now today. They're too consumed with the bread, the circus, the TV, the pornography, the app. Men are weak. People are sick. People are addicted. People are too zoned out and drooling with this chemical grade weed, this weaponized weed. Do you know how easy it is? No, listen to me. Do you understand how easy it is to get your medical marijuana card? It's literally, I don't think they legally turn anybody down. You literally call a number, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to run it past the doctor. Please. Oh, okay, you're already approved. This is the money. We need to take the payment right now, $200. There you go. Boom. A week later, you're at the dispensary buying any grade of this weaponized dope that gets you so high that you don't even know what's going on. Like you're in a zone, like you've just eaten 5 perks. If we didn't love freedom enough, and even more, we had no awareness of the real situation. Do you understand how prophetic this is? This was written almost 100 years ago. People had then that were suffering, dying, starving to death in the gulags in Siberia, freezing to death. When they come to get him, everything was breaking down in their city and the soldiers were coming to arrest him, people had no awareness of the real situation. Why do you think that is? because their media was also controlled. What do you think? They're going to start telling you, oh, hey, we're going to be doing this in about 13 days, and then 27 days we'll be running this, and then about 1 month and 4 days, oh, that's when it's going to really get bad, and then everybody will be locked down within 47 days. This is happening. This is happening. Process it. Process it. This is the real situation. Alexander Stoltenberg at the end said, we had no awareness of the real situation. We didn't love freedom enough. So we simply deserved everything that happened, which nobody deserved what happened to them. Let's get into this really quickly. Here's the corporation and this is the revolution. The same guy who makes policy is helping the same people that they say they're oppressed. Right. Okay. But let's see what happened to these two black women here. In the same city, there's the NYPD. Despite massive New York City protests, police handpicked two pro-lifers, which were two black women, to arrest near a Planned Parenthood to make an example of. Now, there are tens and tens of thousands of people ripping down federal property, tearing down statues, spray painting, graffiti, painting the street. The mayor runs out to paint the street, while you have New York City police arresting two black women who were protesting abortion in front of Planned Parenthood, where you can go at 12 years old, no parent consent, no adult needs to know. Come here, honey. Yeah, we'll take that baby from you. Yeah. We put him in a box, and then we send it to some lab, whoever the highest bidders are, so they can make their transhumanistic, half human, half mice chimeras. Oh, you're crazy, Covert. Look into it. Look into it. Judicial Watch, or some group of people just came out and found, a bunch of documents that said, yeah, there were labs ordering babies with the heart still beating if we could get them. We need fresh flesh. We need fresh skin, because they were making human mice hybrids. Look into human mice hybrids. We need fresh flesh. Look into it. This is the evil, guys. This is the evil that's happening right now. This is the takeover. There's no cards left up anybody's sleeve. They are showing everybody who they are. And you need to shut the television off, because it's a weapon. And it's making you stupid and docile, and you're in a trance. Wake up, please wake up, and wake your family up. This is happening.
Two women are speaking out after what they say was an obvious show of bias by authorities in New York City. Pro-life advocates Bevelyn Beatty and Edme Siobhan, co-founders at the Well Ministries, were peacefully protesting abortion in front of the Margaret Sanger Planned Parenthood facility in Manhattan when they were handcuffed.
Now, you want to talk about Black Lives Matter. Again, conditions apply. What we say matter. I don't care that there's been the death toll between Chicago and Atlanta, which we're going to touch on that in 1 minute or two, is far surpassed any records in history. The violence is beyond calculable because there's no police anymore. And we'll get into this in a minute, but what about the black aborted babies? Black lives don't matter then, right? Only when you Marxists say it does.
And taken away in a police cruiser for breaking COVID-19 social distancing guidelines.
That's why they were arrested, because they did not social distance. Yet, you could look up 10,000 pictures of 10,000 people arm in arm destroying New York. Nobody gets touched. But 2 women protesting abortion get arrested for another draconian law. You're not 6 feet away.
This as massive crowds gathered down the street over the killing of George Floyd. Bevelyn and Ed May join us now to share more of what happened. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
So tell us a little more about that day and why you think you two were targeted. Bevelyn, let's begin with you.
Well, as people may know, New York City is ran by Governor Cuomo, and Governor Cuomo, he's the governor, of course, and then Mayor de Blasio runs the city. And they're Democrat ran, they're very biased, and they really could care less about life. The same time we got arrested, men were out looting, destroying New York City. Fifth Avenue is gone, okay? There's no more Fifth Avenue. There's no more Tiffany, Louis Vuitton. None of that is gone, okay? But they took the time to arrest us for peacefully protesting because they're biased. This is just the proof in the pudding right now that they are a biased leadership.
Hey, what is your take, Ed May, on what happened?
Well, this is not new in terms of having to confront the police when it comes to the pro-life ministry that we've been doing now for a year and a half. We know most of the police force in New York. They're usually great. You know, they understand the rules. The one thing is that this time they use the COVID-19 virus excuses when it comes to the regulations to get us arrested. So their excuse is that we did not social distance. But my question is, how come the abortion is not social distancing from the mothers and the babies that are being murdered? It boggles my mind.
We are at war. We are at war, and there's nothing left. There's nothing left to ignore. You can't look the other way right now. Because these people, these demonic synagogue of Satan controllers are coming after all of us. They want no more morality in America. The little tiny bit that may be left, they don't want that. They want their Hollywood filth. They want their pornography. They want their sexual perversions. They want every demonic, crazy, my grandpa told me before he died. I mean, I was a little kid, but I remember him talking. I mean, he didn't have it wasn't like, hey, I want to tell you. It wasn't like that. But I remember he always carried a Bible. He was a farmer, and he always carried a Bible in his pocket. And maybe he was talking to my gram or my dad, but I remember him saying this. Or maybe my dad told me that he said that to him one time. But my dad would be watching TV and see this half-naked woman or something like that. He'd be like, oh, man, like, oh, look at her, all happy. But this sparked his mind one time, and he said, I remember Pap saying that, when it's people are going to be having sex in the streets, that's when it's the end. That's what, that's when we're at the end. People are going to be having sex in the street. Literally, there is that genre in all their filthy pornography that they make free for everybody, and they promote it to every young man and woman to demoralize us and to destroy our families and to destroy our relationships and to dehumanize our women. We talked about this before, but these are the same people. They cannot stand Christians. They cannot stand Christians. There was the McJesus sculpture that was defended in a Israeli-funded museum. This is Jesus Christ. This is how they look at him. He's a clown to them. They hate America. They hate Christians. They hate Jesus Christ, and they hate anything good. They want a cesspit of living hell, Sodom and Gomorrah, in this country. These are the same people. This is a Jewish publication. Israeli site shows photo of kids dressed as the burning Twin Towers for Purim, and it upsets everyone. I have no idea why this upsets anyone. People all over Israel are celebrating Purim this weekend, and much like Halloween, the dress-up holiday is a perfect opportunity for parents to show off their creativity and then display it on their poor kids. The winners of the contest for costume of poorest taste are definitely 7-year-old twins, Elah and Nahora, who dressed up as the burning World Trade Center towers, which also had the planes into the towers on 9/11. And at least they spared the jumpers. Publication of the picture on the Israeli news website Ynet prompted widespread condemnation. How would Israelis feel if Americans dressed up as a burning Tel Aviv bus, or Europeans wore a train to Auschwitz costume? Someone asked. What do you think about the costume? Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit for you guys there. There we go. 2 little 7-year-old kids. They're celebrating Purim, which is Purim. I know it's, I don't know, it's some holiday that's, I'm sure they, transcended somebody, or, we smite our foes, it's some celebration of death. But this is their level of humor as well. This is funny. They seem to think that it's funny to reenact the murder of over 3,000 Americans on September the 11th, 2001. And they're not the first Israelis to do this. They're not the first. Adults have dressed up like the Twin Towers and the jumpers, and they make a big joke out of this in Israel. This is funny to them. This is, hey, Concord, that was us. It turns my stomach. And yet these are 2 little boys. 2 little kids. It's funny. These are the same people. What are they going to do? They're going to continue to come after morality. They're going to come after the Christians. They're going to come after the morality. They're going to come after the Christians, to the point where, it's going to bleed into the churches. And, we won't have the ability to sing in church. It's already happened. Look at that. CNN. With a worsening pandemic, California bans singing in places of worship. This is not a joke. This is not fake news. It is now, you're banned, all the churches, which you can only have like 100 people, no matter if your church fits 10,000, you can only max out at 100. You cannot sing in church anymore. Family members hold hands as they pray at the first English Mass, with faithful present at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels in downtown Los Angeles. While you can still attend in-person church services in California, you can't sing. To curb the rapidly worsening pandemic, the state has temporarily banned singing and chanting in places of worship. but you can walk around in groups of 100 to 2, 3, 500 and sing and chant and dance in the middle of freeways and, talk about killing whitey and white supremacy and whatever other, slogans and logos that are handed down from Israeli intelligence. Oops, I mean BLM. I mean communists. Wait, what am I saying? The BLM. It's the law. It's the law. Pretty soon it'll be like the Scarlet Letter where they're just going to put a cross on you. Like Hitler did to the Jews in Germany. They put the Star of Remphan on them. I mean, the Star of David, to signify that they were a Jew. And it's going to be returned. They're going to signify who the Christians are. Well, you better not say nothing about it. Oh, you're going into deep water here, Covert. What do we have to lose? What is next? What is going to happen tomorrow? Wake up! I mentioned in a video, I said, they're going to throttle this. It's never going to go away. We're going to get a month or so of a loosening, and then they're going to start tightening back up. By September, we'll be under full lockdown again. And then when they started with the rioting, and as soon as I seen disband the police, I knew exactly what was next. Military on the street. Military on the street. And then it's going to be UN soldiers who don't speak English, who never even heard of the United States Constitution, who don't give two shits about any Bill of Rights. They're going to come for you. And they will hurt and kill Americans on sight. You even look at them wrong. And where are you going to go? Who are you going to tell? There's no constitution with UN troops. They don't care. This is a foreign country to them. But I said, they're going to start throwing the military on the street. And what do we have here? The Constitution does not give the right to kill innocent children. That little 8-year-old girl got killed the other day by a black man. Nobody hears about it because a black guy killed a little black girl who was wielding a semi-automatic assault rifle in Atlanta, and they pulled into a parking lot, and it was being guarded. It was off of one of the highways or whatever. They were shut down. And they lit the car up and killed the little girl. Now, they're calling for military intervention exactly like I said they would. Governor Kemp declares state of emergency after Atlanta's weekend of violence. Kemp is calling up to 1,000 National Guard troops following the holiday weekend's dramatic increase of gun violence in Atlanta. Now Atlanta has military on the street, and it's never going to stop. Congratulations. Congratulations, all of you idiots who were blindly following commands. Congratulations. Oh my God, man. Will somebody please look into how welcome black people are in Israel? Can anybody look into that? And you figure it out. You figure it out. Gianno Caldwell calls on National Guard to deploy in Chicago. So now we have Atlanta, and now we're going to have Chicago, and New York City's going to up their level of military on the street. And then it's going to be the whole Strong Cities initiative. All of those cities are going to have military on the street, tighten up, tighten down, lockdown, and then there's curfew. By September, we'll have curfew. The end of September. And once you're caught outside after curfew, you're going to have problems. Wake up. We have nothing more to lose. We have nothing more to lose. I'm Covert Radio. If you want to become a Patreon, do so. If you don't. Go, shut this off, and go turn on your Black Mirror and allow these same people to continue to infest your mind, continue to paint a false reality in your mind, smoke this high-powered, chemicalized, weaponized weed, take your pills, drink your drink, and just stay asleep. Because very soon, people are going to be paling in terror after they see what happens to anybody else around the country who's already had their military sweeps. Hello, Mrs. Smith. Hello. Oh, I didn't get doing the mata. I didn't get doing the mata.